Hey there, my name is Angela. Welcome to my channel. Today, I'm going to tell you guys about the Canon EF-M 18 to 150 millimeter lens. Let's get to it. First things first, let's talk about price. This lens, brand new, costs $499.99 on Canon.com and on Amazon. It's a little bit pricier when it comes to other lenses in the EF-M series, but I think that has to do with the range on this sucker, which I will talk about in a little bit, so hold your horses there. When it comes to being used though, you can find it on Amazon renewed for $469.99. That is the price at this moment. It kind of varies from time to time on Amazon renewed, but I'll link it down below anyways. And I also found it on a website called mpb.com for $379.99. I've never ordered from this website and I'm not sure exactly how legitimate they are, but I'll link it down below anyways, since it's one of the cheaper prices that I found. And then you could decide for yourself whether or not this website is legitimate enough to buy from. And if you have experience with them, let me know in the comments down below, because I'm always looking for some deals on used lenses. Now let's talk about the design for this lens. The manufacturer says it weighs 300 grams, but its actual weight is around 290, so a little less, still very compact either way. Fully extended, it is 5.37 inches long, and compact, it is 3.41 inches long. And the minimum focus distance on this is 9.84 inches. That means that in order for it to focus on an object, the object has to be 9.84 inches away from the front of the lens. Continuing on design, let's talk about the autofocus motor type that this lens uses. It uses a STM motor type, which is a stepping motor that uses gears for a quieter autofocus. So the STM motor type was actually developed for videography because it makes an autofocus that is smooth and quiet. However, it is slower than other systems like the Canon USM, which stands for ultrasonic motor. So it's not as fast when it comes to autofocusing, but it is quiet. Just to give you an idea, here is a video of the Canon 18 to 150 millimeter lens autofocusing, and this is with just the in-body audio and no edits made whatsoever. Before we move on, I know that a lot of YouTube viewers do not like it when people pause the video to plug in a subscribe, but I'm going to say this as quick as I can. If you like Canon M50's hiking landscapes photography or just think I'm cool, then I would greatly appreciate if you hit that subscribe button. Now let's continue. Now to talk about what I believe is the most appealing part of this lens, which is the focal length. It has a range of 18 millimeters to 150 millimeters, which is pretty freaking incredible. 18 millimeters is a pretty dang wide shot, and 150 millimeters is very, very zoomed in. And to give you an idea of the different focal lengths, here is a video of me standing 30 feet away from the lens, and this is it set at 18 millimeters. And here is it set at 150 millimeters. You can see it zooms in quite a bit. And for those of you who are just starting out and only have the kit lens, here is a side-by-side comparison of the different focal lengths of the kit lens compared to the 18 to 150 millimeter lens. So here is the kit lens set at 15 millimeters compared to the 18 to 150 millimeters set at 18 millimeters. You can see the kit lens is a little bit wider, but now this is when the difference really shows. Here is the kit lens at 45 millimeters, which is the maximum focal length that it could have, compared to this lens at 150 millimeters. And while we're on the topic of focal length, the other day I took this lens out to Yosemite National Park to kind of test it out and play with the different focal length. And I got this video of a beautiful view of Half Dome at 18 millimeters. And then I zoomed in all the way at 150 millimeters just to give you guys an idea of how big this range is. And with that being said, I think this makes it a good lens for landscape photography, because one issue that I always run into is I am constantly changing lenses on my hike because I want different focal lengths, and this lens kind of covers most of the grounds. If anything, I would want it to be a little bit more wide for close-up waterfall shots and stuff like that. But if I'm just out and about, I think it saves me a lot of time when it comes to switching up lenses to get a 22 millimeter look or a 50 millimeter look. Moving on, let's talk about aperture for this lens. This lens has an aperture of 3.5 to 6.3, which means that at 18 millimeters, the lowest possible aperture you can get is 3.5. And at 150 millimeters, the lowest aperture you can possibly get is 6.3. So the aperture is not really the most impressive part about this lens, but it is better than the kit lens aperture. And the reason why I say this is the kit lens aperture is 3.5 to 6.3, which means the lowest aperture you can get when it's maxed out at 45 millimeters is the same as the lowest aperture you can get when this lens is maxed out at 150 millimeters. And now to wrap up this video, here are some portraits that I got with this lens. And here are some landscape photos that I got with this lens. And that is all that I have to show you for the Canon EF-M 18 to 150 millimeter lens. Personally, I think the 18 to 150 millimeter range carries it to the price of $500, and I love that it has such a large range. I do wish that it went a little wider, or that it went all the way up to 200 millimeters, but I honestly think that Canon did not bring it up to 200 millimeters because then it would kind of give you no reason to buy the 55 to 200 millimeter lens in the same series. But more on that later in a comparison video that will be coming soon. And on that note, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, especially if it helped you make a purchasing decision. And if you're new here and you like what you see, don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well. Until next time, bye.